Hello, and welcome back to another pretty delightful episode of Hooky Out, where I guess we're in this awkward situation. I don't know. A socially awkward situation between a hermit and someone that is, I don't know. I don't have a read on Gazelle's entire personality yet, but seems like she's definitely the extrovert in the relationship, to say the least. So, that being said, let's get back on the road. Damn it, that did not go as planned. Oh well. She can do as she pleases. I'll have nothing to do with it. Oh, Master, are you sure you don't? No. Master, Master, where's the dreams that I've been after? What is it now? My name is Gazelle. It's a pleasure to meet you. I like the detail that, like, we already knew the names of the characters before, like, they were technically introduced in the story. That's pretty neat little detail. Or at least in the talk bar, or in the bar above the, I don't know, what would you call it, word box? Words escape me right now. And your name, Oh, Master, you... I actually left the room that time, making my way back to my chambers. At some point, I would seriously have to chase her out. Especially considering she had come from that house. But regardless, I was not terribly fond of her. Alright, well, pretty good opening scene, I guess. I didn't really understand Michael, but that was probably because we were still essentially strangers. Having been sent to the mansion as reparation for my mistakes, I wasn't sure who I might find there. But I was tentatively convinced he wasn't a terrible person. He didn't do anything to me, except stay away. Michel spent most of his time in his chambers, which he had told me to never enter under any circumstances, so we rarely encountered one another in the halls. For that reason, I made an effort to be kind and cheerful on the sporadic occasions we did cross paths. I figured if I kept that up long enough, he would eventually warm up to me. And as new housemates, being able to enjoy our time together was obviously preferable to the alternative. If I did manage to break the ice, I hoped he would be able to do some talking. About the mansion, about him, about me. I just had to keep working at it. Work. Michael didn't need me to take care of him. He handled his own day-to-day needs and activities by himself. In fact, he didn't ask me for anything. An aristocrat who had no use for his servants. I hadn't met anyone like him before. Alright then. That meant about all I could do was clean. I wasn't sure how his room looked. The rest of the house was, quite frankly, an absolute disaster. The dust was so heavy it was obvious it hadn't been touched in years. Let's get started. God, I cannot imagine getting started on something like that. I already procrastinate when I have, like, a boatload to do. Having to clean an entire mansion. Ugh. As a single person. Cleaning one room is already a task. It couldn't be healthy to live in these conditions, so I set out to clean each room in the house one by one, clear out the asbestos. That said, it wasn't going to be an easy task. Not because I was bad at cleaning, in fact, I considered myself quite good at it. But because it was near impossible to find all the dust and grime that needed cleaning under the flickering light of a candle. I can't understand how anyone sane can live in this dark. What's wrong with him? Maybe he's actually a vampire. Oh god, wouldn't that be something? Ah, just a big old chomp right in the neck. I can see it now, him sneaking out every night to suck the blood of pretty girls. Also, wait. I may not have my history completely correct here, and this might just be a translation thing, but if we're in 1099, I don't know if the concept of a vampire was around quite yet. I feel like we're just a little teensy bit early on that. Ack, that means I'm in trouble. Look at me, Miss One-Woman Comedy Show here, yep. If I am able to get him to warm up to me, oh, maybe that'll give me a little more room to make some changes. Like opening some windows. No light, no fresh air. No thank you. Anyway, I set the candlestick down, pulled over a chair to stand on, and started wiping down the shelf. The chair's legs seemed to be uneven as it wobbled slightly beneath me. So many books. I wonder, do they all belong to him? I knew parchment was expensive, so it was rather astonishing seeing this many stacks of it in one place. There were even some books with bulky, extravagantly decorated covers. He does come from an esteemed family. I'd spent enough time in his family's home. It was a constant bustle of servants and guests. The exact opposite of what this mansion is like. Or maybe 1099 was just a fantasized version of the actual time period we're in. Why had he left his home? What had he done to be sent all the way out here, to this remote mansion with a less than savory reputation? Need to be careful not to overstep my bounds. I am a servant now. A servant. But once the thought had crossed my mind, I couldn't get it out. You know, I've been noticing, I've been like doing more countrified slang recently, and it's getting really annoying because I trained my voice not to do that. So, I guess I'll keep you posted, updated on that development as we go by trying to speak normally. I'd always had a bad tendency to chase my curiosities as soon as they struck, pushing to scratch the itch no matter how much my actions annoyed others. I couldn't do that here, though. I was simply a servant, and if I got on Michael's bad side, I risked getting thrown out. I wonder what kind of books he's got in here. So I attempted to distract myself. I grabbed one of the books and attempted to pull it out. What? The strings binding the parchment must have gotten tangled at the back. Shake off the yawns. Whoa! Because the books on either side tilted back with it. Ah! And then the entire row came crashing down on top of me. Ow. Oh, for cripe's sake. I had fallen off the chair, and a downpour of books was still coming down on me. A mountain of dust with it. Cough, cough, sneeze. Seriously? What are you doing? What? Suddenly, Michael was there, looking down on me from a little ways away. There was, as usual, not much I could read from his expression, but I could hear a vague trace of exasperation in his voice. Alright, we're getting a repeat of the book scene. I was doing some cleaning and... Impressive work. I'm usually better than this. It's just so dark. Mistakes should be expected. I really think we should open some windows, Master. Get some light, some air flowing through here. I never asked you to clean anything. You did this entirely yourself. But there's so much dust. It can't be good for you. I am perfectly healthy. I don't see the problem. Had he even seen himself? No way someone that skinny was perfectly healthy. You look like you have something to say, like, no way anybody that skinny is perfectly healthy. He can make out my face in this darkness? Oh, you know, I wanted to be useful, and cleaning is about all I can do here, so, you know? I was sensing something else, but alright. He let out a sigh, stepped over toward the pile of books, and then reached his hand down for me. Ah, I suddenly felt a pang of embarrassment about the fact that I was still splayed out on the floor. But I raised my hand up to take his, only for him to pick up a book instead. Dang! You could at least help me up. You have legs, he said, casually returning the book to the top shelf. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe he was a terrible person. Alright, so far we've had no mention. Well, okay, no, we have had mention of a curse, but it's not been the touchy curse, the bad touch curse. And I feel like that was mentioned during this library scene, so... Well, it looks like we're still in the library scene, so onwards. So, Master, are all these books yours? Gazelle asked, not a trace of remorse visible on her face, despite having made a mess of the room she was supposedly trying to clean. I give a curt nod. Really? That's impressive. Must have been hard work getting them all in here, huh? There's gotta be 100 books here. You can fill out a whole carriage at least. Haha, seems like you got your own personal library. She had been pouting only a few moments earlier, but her smile was back in short order. Her jade eyes were like little balls of curiosity, glittering in the faint candlelight. I was not particularly fond of overly expressive, or rather, overly curious women. Overly curious guys, however. Did they not care that they trampled uninvited into other people's personal spaces? Alright, let's not... let's not get too 4chan up in here. Or were they not even aware that their actions were invasive? I averted my gaze from hers. I receive one roughly every month. I see. Wait. She turned back toward the shelves. I presumed she understood the implications of what I had just said. Of the fact that there were nearly 100 tomes in here, and I received only one a month. Uh-huh. Iselle fell silent. I couldn't blame her if she thought my circumstances or my family or my life bizarre, but I didn't care what she thought of me. In fact, it was to my advantage for her to be uncomfortable. I just needed her to stay quiet and keep her nose out of my business. There's more than I thought. I said not to her, but to myself. I had no reason to count the passage of time anymore. Only the books served as a record of how long I had been here. 121. What? There are 121 books. 10 years and 1 month. You were counting? I thought she had just sheepishly gone quiet. What an inscrutable woman. You've been in here in the mansion for that long, all by yourself? The truth was, there had been times when I wasn't alone, but Gazelle had no need to know that. Alright, well with that ominous line, we will pick up next time on Hooky Hour. See where this library incident goes from here. So until then, I'll see you. Bye.